So for today's podcast, we are going to be diving into one quote, two habits, and three messages. Now, for you all, what does that mean for you? Because for this one, I wanted to make sure that I dove into a quote that's really speaking to me. I wanted to dive into two habits that I am absolutely living by right now, even with a lot of the really cool things that are happening in my life. I can also acknowledge that it's very busy. And so things have changed in this season, and that is absolutely okay. So I wanted to talk about two habits that are absolutely saving me, and then three messages that I am heavily aware of right now. All right. So for our first one, the one quote that is really speaking to me. So this is shout out to Michelle Obama, one of the greats. And the quote reads, "For me, becoming isn't about arriving somewhere or achieving a certain aim. I see it instead as forward motion, a means of evolving, a way to reach continuously toward a better self. The journey doesn't end." This speaks to me for a lot of reasons. And I think what's really special about this is when we have on guests for these Heroes Journey episodes, you hear me ask the two questions that I usually ask people. Those are the pre-scripted questions. And one of the questions is, hey, this is the Can't Believe I Made It podcast. So bigger question for you is, have you made it? And if not, what does making it look like? Now, if you go back on past podcasts, you're going to understand, you're going to hear a lot of these high-level individuals talk about not only just the state to which they feel like they have made it, but they dive into a little bit more of what that state is from the standpoint of state of being, which to me continues to point towards who would you like to identify as? Which I think we know by now, identity-based habits are actually the things that are going to stick with you versus some of the other ways in which we set goals, which I think we can acknowledge, especially as the new year comes along. I'm going to dive into this a little bit more this next week into how to build resolutions that actually stick. But one way that we create change in ourselves is we start to identify with who we need to become. And so that really spoke to me. Two habits that are absolutely saving me right now. My life is really busy, probably a lot like yours as a high-level individual. I don't have the energy and the time to be able to dedicate more or less 2 hours of training, my 10,000 steps, and some of the other things that I used to do. So the two habits that are absolutely saving me is playing basketball each and every day. I get to do 25 to 30 minutes, which that's my time to kind of just be in my body, to perfect something that I really enjoy doing, something that I feel really called to do. And it also doesn't hurt that I listen to some gangster rap, as I hoop. So that's definitely one. The other one that I'm finding is right now, it's sleep. Those are the two things right now in this season of life that I am dedicating a lot of time to, and also understanding that this for me at least, this is not my whole life. So if I'm going to increase the trajectory, I go back to two things that are really working for me. And so the reason why I'm telling you this is because I want to push you to be thinking about the same thing. As you go through seasons of life, what are those, we've talked about cascading habits in the past. What are those cascading habits, or what are those things that really allow you not only to create maintenance, but to increase that 1% lift? That's what we're looking at. And lastly, the three messages that are really, really loud for me right now. And this is where I mean, you kind of already know, this is where I get really vulnerable with where I'm at. And hopefully it creates a little bit more of an opportunity for you to be really honest with yourself and to not only lead with observation, but also lead with some grace. And so here's kind of the way that I look at it. So three messages that are really loud for me. One, hey, Des, you're doing a lot. Number two, hey, Des, you're not doing enough. And number three, which I think is trumping the prior two, because I think the first one I'm understanding. Yeah, you know what? A lot is happening right now. And it's also really fun. And I'm enjoying the process. The second one, that's just me being an asshole to myself. I think we all have that inner asshole. But number three is, and this is what I think is the most important one, does increase the trajectory. what is one or two things today that you can do to make sure that you increase the trajectory? And me hopping on and busting out this 5 to 6 minute pod is exactly me doing that. So I might do more of these. Let me know. Be sure to tag me, take a screenshot at Dezi Abeda, at I Made a Pod on IG, and let me know if you like these short ones. Like I said, I wanted to show up today before I started my bedtime routine, which is, hoop and sleep. That's what I'm doing today. I'm keeping it real. So let me know if you like these. I kind of liked it. It was really short, but I hope that you continue to increase your trajectory this week. We will start tackling resolutions this next. We have some other heroes journeys episodes coming up in 2022 and heading into 2023. God dang, it's crazy. But I love y'all. Catch you on the next one. Later.